Welcome to Research Technique series. In our effort to introduce eminent social scientists to students of higher education, today we have with us a renowned social scientist, Dr. Rajesh Timane, HOD and professor of Dr. Punjab Rao Deshmukh Institute of Management and Technology, Nagpur. Dr. Rajesh Timane has more than 20 years of experience in industry, entrepreneurship, teaching, research, and consultancy. After post-graduating from Pune University in Management in 1997, he worked in industry for about 3 years in the domain of sales and marketing, covering sales in Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan, and lastly in Odisha. After this brief stint in industry, he went on to start his own venture in the areas of training and sales in the domain of CAD and CAM. These 5 years gave him a lot of fruitful experience in training engineering students and selling software to educational institutions. During this time, he also attempted to start a magazine for undergraduate students targeting to improve their aptitude. With this diverse experience of about 8 years, he formally joined the reputed Management Institute in Nagpur in the year 2005. Started as an assistant professor, and after getting the award of doctoral degree, he was promoted to head of the undergraduate department of business administration. And from this year, that is 2020, he is now head of the department for postgraduate department of business administration. With his multidisciplinary interest, he is postgraduated in management, commerce, arts, media, and philosophy. He has been a university topper twice and has been honored with a total of 7 gold medals and 2 memorial prizes for excellence in academics by the university. Under his guidance, 3 students have been awarded PhD degree till now, and 5 more are undergoing doctoral research. He has been adjudged Best Paper Award for paper presented in national level conference. Among online certification he has done intellectual property right management, copyrights, trademarks, design, GI filing procedure in the domain of intellectual property rights, inspiring leadership through emotional leadership from Case Western Reserve University, and Ace of Sustainable Development from Columbia University, among the various other certifications. He has also worked in the capacity of consultant with the Bajaj Steel Industries Limited and Western Coalfield Limited in India. He has been editorial board member, Business Quest of Richards College of Business, University of West Georgia, USA, and Helvetic Editions, Switzerland. Sir, welcome on this platform. So nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And
thank you for this elaborate this introduction.
So nice, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, today I have called you for a special purpose. You are a man of multidiscipline. You have worked in marketing and taught many subjects. But today, I am going to get your views on agricultural issues. We economists always say that agricultural commodities and products have low income elasticity and low price elasticity. With the rise in income, demand does not rise, and with fall in prices, demand does not increase. However, with a little rise in demand, prices shoot. So there are many marketing issues, and there are many problems. Please advise researchers about agricultural problems on which they can work, especially in your area.
The problem you are kind of discussing as of now, I'll just elaborate on a thread of it. See, in India, the pricing has been governed by MSP, minimum support price, and there have been a lot of kind of issues, lot of advocacy issues. There are strikes on this issue. Opposition is kind of getting a hang of the ruling government on this issue. So MSP is now in the new agriculture policy. They have came up with a solution for this problem. By bringing in private players, what shall happen is now the MSP is governed by APMCs, these mandis. So the government has been steadily increasing this MSP. But see, it is the price of these commodities is not market driven. It is just kind of an positive subsidy given to all this harvest. So by opening it up to private players, what now will happen is, or what government is expecting is that say the corporate houses or industrial players in India should come in, and now they should directly go ahead and procure these farmers' produce. So they will have a free hand on this. So now the market dynamics will play. Now this pricing issue will kind of play in a different scenario. This we cannot guess as of now how it will go. But now the farmers will have better options, whether to go to those mandis. They called it by APMC, so agriculture products produced. So this will be a different scenario. Now regarding agriculture problems, some other problems are there. The basic problem is marketing or selling that product. Instead of marketing, I'll use word selling. What happens is usually my family is from farming background, so I have been staying in villages. So I know this firsthand. Like say, what the main issue is that timing is the issue. When festivals come, when somebody is having a marriage of his daughter, or they have certain kind of need of money. Now at that time they are ready to sell at any price. This is the biggest issue. Here the agents come in and kind of give them very low price. So they kind of sell it from that place itself, from their home itself. They sell it because they need money. There is no other option. This is one major problem because at that particular time they don't have anybody to purchase, because APMC will start purchasing for a specific period of time. They will have those slots. During those slots they will purchase again. There is a lot of kind of non-standardization in APMC. Their weights and scales are kind of, we don't know whether the farmers keep trust in that or not. They usually don't trust because the when these APMCs they purchase or sell something, there are various farmers who have been with this experience that the scaling is different or there is no standardization. So weights are different. So obviously there is something going on there, something fishy is there. Now regarding this is one problem because this timing is important, where usually the farmers in India are facing problem. Another is getting this data regarding primary and secondary data. See, secondary data is available with government websites, all the ministries. There is a huge data regarding various kind of segments of agriculture. But when it comes to primary data, I myself have done PhD on critical analysis of role of NGOs in management of rural development programs. So in this particular PhD, I have been in touch with farmers to get their opinion. So these were farmers mostly, but the part of sample was from villagers. So in this particular problem, what I was required to do is I created a second questionnaire in vernacular language, and then my attire was very simple, and I went there and talked to these farmers in their own language. So this has to be done, and these researchers they have to keep in mind that whom you are talking to. If you talk to them in their vernacular language, so I talk to them in Marathi, that too the kind of Marathi which they speak in their village place. So if you go that kind of close to getting data, then there is a possibility that you will get data. Otherwise, if you ask a question to a farmer in English, now there is a very less possibility that he will answer you anything, whether it is mixed cropping or timing of his crops or where he sells. He won't be at all interested. That is the usual scenario. So getting primary data in agriculture is very kind of tricky. Again, data with various government department is not matching. Say you go to a Jilla Parishad or you go to a Panchayat Samiti, there are various hierarchies on the basis of whether that particular agency is in a village or taluka place or a district or a state or central government. So likewise, that departments are different. Now these data are not matching. This was earliest this used to happen. Now there is a centralized process and data is kind of standardized. We get a good quality data nowadays. I'm talking about secondary data. So this is again another problem. In data, there are issues with primary and secondary data. We can take care of certain problems. Then middleman is the biggest problem in India. But now something else is happening. Startups are coming up. E-commerce is coming in a big way. Everybody is able to have a smartphone and they are able to use it. This is even through with all the rural villagers and everybody. So the things are changing. We can say middleman's role will be out in the days to come. This is visible with that the GM government marketplace initiative this government has taken. So till now they have somewhere around 1 lakh crore revenue in rupees. So that shows that it is working. So people are directly selling and using that GM government marketplace. Now another problem is see people in India are specifically farmers or people who are in agriculture. They are by and large they are not into agribusiness or something which is supporting their normal agriculture activity. This is a huge problem. Usually they don't kind of there are pockets where it happens, like say in western Maharashtra, somewhere in and around Nashik, they take grapes as a crop, and so pomegranate is there. So they are into wineries, they are producing something. So if there is a end product or some supporting activity or some agribusiness, then it is possible that farmer will have certain kind of he won't face so many problems with having that income. Otherwise, solely dependent on his small land holding, that too is dependent on rains. So God knows what happens with them every time. So even that issue is kind of getting resolved, because earlier they used to get lend money from these money lenders, which was a problem. Now there are a lot of microfinance companies, so this is also getting over. So there are a lot of issues and problems in agriculture. So there are various segments, like horticulture is there, organic farming is a separate segment. So in cattle management is a separate segment, farm management is there, crop management is another thing. So as a whole, in these various segments, there are typical problems with all the total agriculture sector, we can say. If they can see, there are certain problems. See, basically supply chain is there. So this is a huge kind of opportunity to study this agriculture supply chains, right from a farmer is producing his crop, where it is going and where the consumer is consuming. So studying this supply chain would be interesting, where it is going, whether APMCs, mandis, what they are doing, at what price they are fetching. These agents are fetching exorbitant amount of money and earning like anything. So they are fetching more money than the farmers who are producing. That is another problem. So there are various facets now. Some areas are sustainability and circular economy areas. Biofuels are there, biodiesel. There are various kind of startups which are coming up in this area. AI-based monitoring is there. Weather predictions are very correct now. So artificial intelligence is behind this. Various companies like APV, then NVIDIA is coming up to support government of India. Microsoft is coming in a big way. So this is correcting this very long problems of not having correct kind of forecast for the farmers about weather. This is also has been corrected since last couple of years. We can see that farmers get that information precisely, whether they live in coastal area or from north to south and east to west. So this is another big development. So there are problems, no doubt, but these are the opportunities for researchers, I would say. If they really go and study these areas, whatever interests them, that is the main issue. Something should be there which interests a researcher, and then he should go in depth about studying that problem. That is how this should be approached, I guess.
Sir, you have said that supply chain
Right.
issues should be studied by the people. Now there is one more issue coming out of this: branding the agricultural products. Now rice, if it is branded, and rice which is not branded. Now when the branded rice comes in the market, it has got more price. So there is a big gap between unbranded agricultural products and branded agricultural products. So what
Right.
is your opinion? What is your opinion about this?
Branded this basmati rice and all, there are various brands in basmati rice, but there are some other kind of varieties of rice which are not branded. They are just called by certain name. It is a category of that particular rice. Say something like, say, Chinnor is there, or say Lokwan is there. So these are just, say, names of that particular quality based on where that particular production is happening. Similar is the case with, there is a brown rice which is here in our nearby place. It is called as Bhandara. It is near Nagpur. So here they have rice with a brown tinge. And that is a natural rice. They are bringing it out without using chemicals. Even say it is said that the queen of when we were under English this thing dominance. So the queen used to have that rice. It was so tasty. So even it has got certain demand. So it is happening in that particular area or geography. So geographical indications are coming. They are also coming in a big way. So they are labeled like that. Although it may not be branded, if something is say if the particular product has geographical indication, then it fetches a good price. It is exported at a higher band. So like Nagpur oranges are there. This brown rice of Bhandara is there. Then there are lot of products like Saipam has been doing a lot of work in this. This way, I would say that what you asked is the branded products makes the difference for say a very higher class of people which go in a shop of which sells grains and I ask for chinno rice and I'll take a full bag of 10 kgs or 20 kgs in a bulk. So that's how most of the middle class and lower class make purchase in India, which makes a huge kind of market say, in terms of market share. So the basmati rice and the branded rices are good for say higher class of hierarchy and something like say in exporting them. That is market, but it is smaller as compared to the general market in India based on the consumption we have.
Yes, sir. Sir, now this government they say that all payments should be to the farmers should be online. That is direct payment. But
Right.
but many of the people they say no, it should be through the middleman or it should be this. What is your opinion? I think online is always better because this cuts and
Right.
all everything will be. Hmm.
Now we have finished with this identification program. UID is over, so everybody is having Aadhaar card, and most of the kind of villagers or rural population in India they have bank accounts. So with these two things now, it is very easily possible to directly transfer money into their account. This is called as DBT, direct benefit transfer. This is usually cutting on middlemen because the money is directly coming from central government and going to villages. So there is no middleman and kind of every time reducing it by having a commission in that particular hierarchy. So it goes through 10 people and say Rajiv Gandhi used to say our ex-prime minister, if we send 10 rupee, 100 rupees, a farmer gets somewhere around 1 rupee to 10 rupees. So this he knew, the Prime Minister himself knew at that time that the middlemen are kind of fetching money like exorbitant amount of money. So 90% of the money was out of the system for whom it was intended. This is a big development. I think it is good that DBT is working like anything now. Direct benefit transfer is always benefit.
Researchers can work on this issue. What are the benefits of direct benefit transfer? They can work what earlier was doing. They were doing, and now what is the benefit of this? There's a big scope for the researchers. Sir, your final advice to the research community. What are the final advice you give to the research communities? You have already guided so many. You have guided so many students. So
Right.
yes.
Yeah, one of my students, she is doing it on organic farming. She is Rabia Khan from Chhattisgarh. She is pursuing in managing the organic farming issue. Now, what I would say is there are a lot of kind of different multidisciplinary topics now. It was not kind of possible earlier, but now technology is playing a big way. This mobility is coming in. Green technologies are there, circular economy is there. So based on this, there are a lot of new emerging areas which can be coupled with agriculture. So people should, or the researchers should pick such topic which is of certain interest to them, which helps them in their career in future. Say somebody wants to make a career in biotechnology, then he should take a topic similar to that particular domain where he wants to make his or her future. So that should be the main aim. Like say randomly picking a problem, nothing is going to happen. Or otherwise, you should have that kind of keenness in looking at problems. So if somebody goes and visits a village with utter keenness, then he can come up and see what is happening and what the problem is, what the problem really is. So that is another way to look into this problem. And majority of the times, what I would suggest is the researcher should first search data like anything. Search and search. Now we can Google, and effectively searching on Google is also a big deal. We should be, or the researcher should be in a position to kind of have a literature review on whatever earlier work has happened, so that target keywords, what he wants to know about a particular topic, he should have a pinpointed and very crisp information in terms of secondary data. Another thing, once he picks a topic, now the researcher should kind of talk and talk and talk. He should go and he should understand where I need to go to fetch my primary data. So if say his sample is say amongst farmers and traders, now he should go just straight away go ahead and talk to 50 farmers and 50 traders. That will give him a lot of insight and experience, and maybe the track of or the subject itself will change, because he will come through or he will come upon certain new topic which he never thought of, or he will come or reach that actual problem. So this is another thing I would suggest. So reading and talking to this primary data stakeholders is very important while picking a topic, so that you refine that particular topic and really come up with something which is a credible kind of, it should add knowledge to existing body of knowledge. That should happen. It should not be something which has already been done and there are no gaps covered. It doesn't make any sense just repeating everything, and we are googling and putting information on Google. So that doesn't make any sense. So in that way, I would suggest that it should close certain gap if there is a gap in research, or you should come up with something new which should add exactly something to the existing body of knowledge. That is my kind of advice to all the research.
So nice, sir. So nice. Thanks a lot. And your observations, your views will go a long way. Not only PhD students, but also students of our MBA students, or our more management students, our postgraduate students. They can also get. See, they are also doing the capstone projects. So I have started this platform so that the people may get the views of the experts, and they may get some idea about the topic, about the problems. Now, as you have rightly said, so they should first talk to the people, and the problem may change. So they may have something in their mind.
I'll just have a word. Like say last month I was in my village place. There one villager, like say, he said me like earlier we used to kind of, when they used to take cotton as a crop, when that cotton was maturing at that particular time, they used to have a ambadi, which is called as bongura in Telugu. It is also called as sorrel or roselle in English. So sorrel or roselle. So that was cross cropped with cotton, and what used to happen, this huge problem of bollworm is there. At that particular time when bollworm used to come, this ambadi or this roselle used to attract birds, and they used to eat all the bollworms. So it was a problem which was naturally solved by our kind of people who were wise and who had observation about the nature, what should be the mixed cropping was like. And there are also health benefits with this roselle, or it is also called as sorrel. So likewise, they were genius in a way, kind of more observant in say observing nature and really coming up with something like say new. Their practices were really practical most of the ways. That just I wanted to add you.
So nice, sir. Thank you very much. I'm obliged and thankful, and I think students will also get a lot from the talks which you have done it. So nice. Thank you very much, and so nice. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Rajesh Timane says, governments increase minimum support price annually and at the same time positively subsidize the commodity productions. This restricts level playing field. Agents help farmers in the time of their needs, but later exploit the situations. Nowadays, microfinance organizations help farmers. Role of agents are getting minimized. Direct transfer to farmers is a good attempt. Farmers don't trust APMCs and agents. Researchers should study all these angles. There are many issues in data collection. Earlier, secondary data of agriculture was not reliable, but with the centralization of data collection, there is lot of improvement. Earlier, there was always mismatch between secondary and primary data, but now there is lot of improvement. While collecting primary data, researchers should talk in vernacular language. Students should study supply chain of agri products. Branded agri commodities are marketed to higher income segment. There is a lot of scope for further innovation and analysis. Thank you. Thanks for watching. You may submit your research work at Journal of Global Economy, rcssindia.org. Your work is evaluated by peers with double-blind methodology. You will get comments for your work. Thank you.